Welcome to the Bodacious Women in Cannabis podcast, the show where the bold and brilliant women cannabis business leaders share their journey and their expertise. Here's your host, Susan Burns.
Hello, this is your podcast host, Susan Burns. As a cannabis lawyer by profession, what would delight me more than showcasing bodacious women in cannabis? Today we are talking with Nicole Campbell, who is one of the founders, and she's the CEO of Green Lady Dispensary in Massachusetts. And it's a family-owned business. And so we also have the benefit of talking with her daughter, General Manager Clea Campbell, Clea Campbell. Welcome to both of you.
Hello, nice to be here today.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. So, Green Lady Dispensary in Massachusetts. How long have you been in business?
This is our 5-year anniversary, actually, which is a long time in Massachusetts. We were the 23rd retail store to open up in the state back in 2000, and I'm losing track of time here. 2018?
2018.
Yes. And we were the first minority and woman-owned business to open up in Massachusetts as well. So we broke a lot of barriers, and now we're coming in on our 5-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's exciting.
Yeah. So in your dispensary, it's on the marijuana side of cannabis, or do you do hemp too, or both, or what are you selling in your dispensary?
Well, what we did is we started out on Nantucket Island, which is very unique. Nantucket Island, anybody might be listening to this and not familiar, is off the coast of Massachusetts, and it's 30 miles out in the ocean. So we started there, and we are vertically integrated on the island. We do cultivation, product manufacturing, and a retail store. And then most recently, we opened up a second retail store on the mainland Massachusetts, where Clea is. That's just been open about a half a year, and that is in Newton, Massachusetts.
We're just retail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is what? Sorry, Clea.
We're just retail here. We don't grow yet on the mainland, just on Nantucket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the growing is you're on the marijuana side of cannabis or the hemp side, or both?
Just the marijuana side. We resell other hemp products, but we're just on the marijuana side.
Okay. All right. Great. And so, well, that's interesting. So all the firsts that you're talking about, there had to have been some, in breaking those barriers, there has to have been some struggle in doing that, becoming the first woman-owned and minority-owned, right? Those are the two you said. Mm-hmm. So talk to us about that. Talk to us about your steps and the hurdles that you faced, and what you learned from those. How do you turn those into positives?
It's true. Sometimes I think you just kind of try to get through things, to get to the point of being open. But it was a lot of work, to start out with at both locations. There's you have to overcome the prejudices that people have against cannabis, right? And also sometimes it's just about change. I think there's a portion of society who doesn't like change, and seeing legal cannabis stores can be frightening to people. There's been a lot of bad press for decades about cannabis. I'm of the generation where I grew up, knowing about those commercials where you see the egg cracking on the frying pan and insinuating that's your brain when you smoke.
Your brain on cannabis.
So I think that was some of the beginning, changing people's perceptions, letting them know you could operate stores and you can be responsible business members of the community, and be safe and prevent the access of cannabis to minors, and work, to make it a safer community and just have the access to the people who need it. And we're also medical on Nantucket. So there's a lot of medical patients that have had huge benefits from having access to cannabis, and that makes me feel great. And I think now that we've been open 5 years, we've proven that we can be a member of the business community just like any other type of business.
And so I was going to ask you about that as you were talking, but you answered the question. So you can be both a medical and recreational dispensary at the same time.
Yes.
That's an interesting business model.
It is, because sometimes there's different goals and different types of customers shopping with different end goals. But even recreational customers purchase products that help them. I call it kind of over the counter cannabis. So they might not have a prescription, but they're looking to help themselves in things like sleep. Better night's sleep, for example, is a very important thing, and a lot of people come in just recreational for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Clea, how was that for you as you were growing up and getting into the cannabis dispensary business? Were there any issues for you with your peers or in the community that you had to face or struggle with?
Yeah, well, I'd say certainly, well, there's two things there. Like, I'm young and I'm also a woman. So I feel like this industry is super male dominated. So that was one kind of challenge, something that challenged me. And even though it is male dominated, there's a lot of really cool people in the industry. So it's not like it's like set me back or anything. I'd say, if anything, my age, people seeing me and seeing that I'm younger, and I have been taking over a lot of different positions in this company. Back in 2018, when we first opened, I was more focused on like advertising, marketing, stuff like that on Nantucket. And as we expanded, my responsibilities expanded as well. So I was, the leading force, like opening our Newton location, just with all of the wholesale logistics, operating procedures, hiring, brand development, everything. So I think I really excelled fast. Like, I graduated college and I jumped right into it. So I've learned so much, and I feel like I have so much more experience just being in a job than I did when I went to school. And I feel like I'm just very proud of myself because I've been able to take on so much different types of things, and I love it, and I love being challenged. And so it's definitely just having to go the extra mile because I'm a woman and because I'm young, just to like kind of prove that I can handle doing all these things. So like running a business for me has been super, like, it's stressful at times and it's definitely hard, but it's been super rewarding getting all this experience for sure.
So you are thinking that the challenges made you excel.
Yeah, for sure. I think nothing good comes easy in life. And I think cannabis is especially difficult, but it is a really fun industry. And like I said, it attracts a lot of really cool people, really young people. So, um, I definitely feel like I fit in here, and I feel like I have excelled through the challenges. And it's made me kind of stronger and work harder, even though sometimes it's
Great.
exhausting.
Nicole, what about you? What are the eh, what did you take out of the initial struggles? I mean, every business will have plateaus and then new challenges, I guess we call them, and whatever. But the initial ones, how did you turn that around for yourself or take a silver lining from that?
Yeah, it's interesting because even though Clea and I are mother and daughter, we also have very different life experiences. As Clea was talking, she went right into this coming out of college, but meanwhile, I had a desk job for 30 years. I had a desk job doing marketing, advertising, sales, and many other things. And I personally was over a desk job and just sitting pasted to a chair in front of a computer screen for so many hours a day. So one thing, since we're the owners of this company, that I was able to do was give myself more flexibility, give myself the opportunity to work wherever I want, which now we take for granted, right? Being able to work at home, for example, or visit relatives and be able to work and be able to choose where to work and how to work. And trust me, I work very hard. My kids are always telling me I work too hard, but I was able to get some things out of a more flexible position that I really enjoyed.
Good. Hey, and so what about benefits? We all, I think, start a business with an idea and a dream of what we think it's going to become, and along the way we cope with the challenges, and then, at least in my experience, there's always some little nugget that drops in that makes me sit back and say, whoa, I never in a million years thought something this cool would happen when I started this journey. Do do either or both of you have something like that in your?
Well, I would say like the experience as a whole, like just to give a little bit more background about us. I mean, we're originally from New York and we went to Nantucket a lot. My parents were married on Nantucket and we were always spending time there. So it was really special to be able to do something so, because Nantucket's like kind of known to be a more, it's a vacation spot for, Biden goes there on his vacations. Like it's really fancy. So it really was like a disruptive force opening a dispensary. But I was surprised by how people just loved it. I mean, there were, of course, people who didn't love it, but there was an overwhelming amount of people on Nantucket that were so excited to have a dispensary. And that was really, really nice. And so, yeah, just being able to be there and that response that we got was really positive overall. So I would say that for sure.
Yeah.
I remember one day there was a gentleman who left the store so happy. And he was like, yes, I finally made it to be able to go into a shop and purchase cannabis legally. And he felt like it was just such an achievement to be able to have done that.
Mm-hmm. And that makes you feel good. Yeah. One of the silver linings. Um, so let me start with you, Clea. What is your unique brand of bodaciousness?
I guess like I think my personality is very bodacious in the sense I'm definitely take on a lot of stuff. I'm always moving. I'm never sitting still. I got that from my mom for sure. Like, because now she tells me that I work too much. So I think just me always wanting to do more, like maybe even to a fault. Like I'm always just like wanting to do everything and achieve everything. And I'm really out there and I'm not afraid to put myself out there. I think that's what makes me a bodacious person.
And what drives that, do you think? What's behind that drive to?
I don't know. I think it's just who I am. Like I just don't think I'm satisfied just sitting still. Like I think I always have to do more maybe. Like for myself, like just cuz I enjoy it. I enjoy being busy. I enjoy doing new things. I feel like if I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like I'm wasting my life not doing more. And I just feel like I always want to keep doing things because that's like what life's about is just to do as many things as possible and live the most that you can, I guess.
Grab it while you can.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Nicole, what about you?
I think my brand of bodaciousness is to think outside of the box and be creative with product inspirations. So that's one thing that we've done a lot out in Nantucket is come up with a lot of really interesting products, things that try to break the mold and break the box.
Give
And
us some examples.
okay, let's see.
Fresh
Clea, help
baked
me.
goods,
Huh?
maybe.
Oh, that's a great one. Thank you, Clea. Yeah. So one thing that we're able to do on Nantucket is we are able to do fresh baked goods, right? And so most of most of America, because of the supply chain and how cannabis is produced and manufactured and shipped and wholesaled, it's not possible. But because we're on this little island, and the way we have it set up, we do a lot of fresh baked goods in our kitchen. We do brownies, a whole range of cookies. Right now we have peace and love cookies that are out there. We kind of renamed Valentine's Day, and we're still selling them. And so instead of Valentine's Day, it's peace and love cookies, which are these delicious red velvet cookies. We're coming out with a new product next month, fresh baked cinnamon buns. So you can stop by and buy a pack of 4 right out of the oven cinnamon buns. And what we do is again, we're not trying to do the wholesale chain here. So we don't put any preservatives in them. So it's just like going to a bakery. You get these cinnamon buns. They were produced that day. They taste amazing. And you want to know what? You better eat them before a week's up, because they're not meant to like sit around, for weeks and weeks on end. They're meant to be fresh baked and delicious. We have what are the kinds we have lemon cookies in the summer, chocolate chip cookies. In the winter, we have ginger. What is it called?
Space cakes.
Oh, we did space cakes for a while there. The inspiration from Amsterdam and their love of space cakes. So
I don't know what a space cake is. I'm sorry to say, I guess. What is it?
So part of our background is Dutch from Holland. And that was actually some of my first introduction to cannabis. And I remember when I was young going to Amsterdam, visiting family, and actually seeing a menu, like the concept that a cannabis store could have a menu and there was like choices on it. It blew my mind. Maybe that made the imprint for me to get involved in this industry. I don't know. But so in Amsterdam, when you go to coffee shops, one of the items they sell are called space cakes. I've seen all different kinds of space cakes, from muffins to all sorts of things, right, Clea? I mean, I think it's like an all-encompassing baked good and it's very strong. I don't even know
whenever you eat it how much is in there.
Yeah, I don't think it has like these like 5 or 10 milligrams like our packaging here does. And so they call them space cakes. We reimagined it to a little mini bundt cake, with a vanilla bundt cake with colored sprinkles inside of it. So that's how we reimagined a space cake to be.
And just as strong?
These are dosed properly.
And if I can add about my mom, she is super bodacious, because this whole kind of journey was started because of my mom. Like, she was in a different business for 30 years and she was getting really tired of it. And so her decision to go into cannabis, that's really cool in of itself, because I have so many friends whose parents are so anti-cannabis. So I thought it was really cool that my mom wanted to get into it, but she also got into it because of us, because she wanted to do something for my sister and I and get us involved, because, she was previously in the fertilizer industry and we weren't super interested in that. So she did that really for us. And I just think it's really cool.
Nice. It's nice to have your children be proud of you.
Oh,
isn't it, Nicole?
I'm equally as proud of her.
I'm sure you are, and for good reason. How do you think what you're doing impacts your clients? You're like cutting edge, and you're on your creativity on the product side, and you're just pushing the envelope in a little bit in other ways. How do you think that impacts your clients? What does that do for them?
I feel like, especially on Nantucket, because we are kind of isolated on that island, they are super, super lucky. And I feel like they feel super lucky in the senses that, like, we just have such good quality product, and we are, my family lives there. Like, my sister runs the store there. Like, we hear right from our customers what they're looking for, what they want, what they need. So us being a smaller company and really putting a lot of TLC into, both locations. Now I'm here doing that here, but being able to grow certain strains based off of their feedback, give them fresh baked goods that like nobody else in the entire state of Massachusetts is doing that. And just the quality and range of products that we can produce, I think, is really impressive. And I think like my mom was saying earlier, they were so excited about being able to have it and have it medically, and just catering to what their wants and needs are, I think is what makes us really different and really special. Yeah.
Nice, nice. You know, you're talking about baked goods just reminds me of my college days, and it makes me just want to giggle because I remember somebody said, "Oh, well, let's make pot brownies," and I'm like, "Pot brownies? What?" Okay, so we made them, and I ate one, and I'm like, "Well, they were tasty because my friend Pat made them from scratch. He was a great cook." But anyway, so I ate one, and then nothing happened. So we were used to smoking joints and bongs and things like that, you know. And so then I ate another one, nothing, and another one, and then you know the story, what happened
Yes.
on the couch for hours, just like,
Yes.
oh,
We've all
can
been
somebody
there.
put on some music?
In there.
Yeah. Oh, and we didn't have products like Undo back then or CBD to bring you down or anything. So, that was quite a while ago. But so Nicole, what in so you worked in marketing advertising for 30 years at a desk job, as you were saying. You must have felt stuck and decided you wanted to get out and do something different. Is that correct? What advice do you have for other women that find themselves in that situation? Because that's, to me, that's bodacious to just go, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. I've got something else inside me that's really wants to get out. And so talk about that experience. That had to be frightening at times, and people were telling you you're crazy. You had to be thinking at some point, like, I had a perfectly good job. What did I do? How did I blow this all up? So talk about that, and what's the, you know, what pushed you off the edge to make you do it, and then how did you keep going through all that? And what advice do you have for others?
You're absolutely right. You know, you hit the nail on the head, and I think that happens to a lot of people. You know, as when you're younger, right? You're setting up your life. You're setting up. You know, if you choose to get married or have children or buy a house, right? You're setting up your life, and then at a certain point,
And
um,
you're climbing in your career, you're becoming someone other than who
exactly,
you are for some reason.
exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you just sometimes you just I don't know. I don't know what makes it. Is it something that people as they age, as it happens to them? I'm not really sure. But I desperately needed a change, and I felt trapped. Like I'm good at what I do, but when you do it so repetitively, it feels almost like there's shackles on you. So I couldn't take it anymore. I was in burnout. I was doing the same things. I knew how to do them as like a chore, you know, like you might go into the bathroom at night and brush your teeth, and you know how to brush your teeth. You don't have to really think about it. It's like you're on autopilot. And I just couldn't take it anymore. So I had to talk with my family, of course, first, make sure it was something that they supported me with. And they did. I do think, you know, I am fortunate because we are a little more well off, and not everybody can make those kinds of changes. So I really do appreciate that. I do think you have to be a little bit crazy. So I think sometimes I have a little bit of the crazy in me, which I mean in the most loving sense
Bodacious. It's bodacious.
of the word. Yes, you know, yeah. And you know, I would say one of the things is plan. Do your best. As I mean, there's always things you don't know what's going to happen and the unexpected, but as best you can, I would highly suggest to try to make plans, and maybe have contingency plans along the way as well.
Hmm. What kept you going in those moments of doubt where you're like, what did I just do? I should just go get another marketing job. What kept you going? What kept you going in Green Lady Dispensary in the cannabis business?
Wow, that's a good question, because it's very deep. thinking about it. One of the things, there's, I guess, two things in the cannabis industry. One is breaking breaking rules, in the sense of breaking rules of what's expected of society, right? Being able to sell cannabis is already breaking something that society thought we couldn't do. But the other thing that I don't want to forget is bringing joy to people. Cannabis really does bring joy to people. And I always think about that with our products. It's whether you're a group of friends or family and you're passing around a joint maybe before a meal, it's community time, it's sharing. And I think that we can't forget that cannabis is there about bringing joy or satisfaction, even if it's something, for example, like you're a medical patient and you're finding some relief from pain. I might not use the word joy for that, but there's something good about it, right? There's something that's good for us, and hopefully everybody uses it in a way that's responsible and proper. But that's one of the things that I really do like about cannabis, and receiving that feedback is important motivator to keep going. Then you kind of know you're going on the right path, right? You're bringing some joy to people's lives. You're headed down the right path.
So what I'm hearing, and tell me if this is correct, is that along the way, even though you had those doubts, you had a deeper drive and you had little glimpses of positive feedback along the way to keep you in the game. Like somebody being happy or saying, oh my God, I can't wait till you open because blah, 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 I've been in pain or whatever. And to me, if you're somebody in pain and you have even a day that's free of pain, that would be a very joyful experience. And I know that happens.
For sure.
Yeah, cool. So do you have any other comments or advice that you'd like to give to women? You don't have to, but if you do, here's your chance.
I just feel like the advice that sticks with me, that I feel like I heard a lot throughout my life, is just like doing things that you enjoy, obviously, doing them because you enjoy them, and not giving up, and having a positive attitude, a positive outlook on life. I think always helps in whatever you're doing. Believing in yourself and others, I would say that's just good advice any facet of your life. So,
And if you're feeling in your positive attitude, you can have a cookie.
A reward.
Don't eat a row of brownies, so well, where do you do mail order or online sales? Sorry, mail order, 100 years old. But do you do online sales or is it strictly retail?
Strictly retail. So,
Okay.
you can visit our Newton store right in Newton, Massachusetts. A beautiful location, right in the center of town. It was an old gas station that's been renovated. The interior is just a wonderful place to shop. Great people. We actually recently won an award for a 5-star rating for that store for things such as customer service and product selection. So that's one place you can visit us, or tons of people take vacations to Nantucket. And so if you're on vacation and you come out to Nantucket, please find us.
Green Lady Dispensary. How about social media? You have to be on social.
yes, we're on social media. Our Instagram is the Green Lady Dispo, and we're on Facebook, the Green Lady Nantucket, and also X, but we don't use it as much anymore.
And you're on Instagram too?
Yeah.
Or just Facebook?
Yeah.
And it's Green Lady
Green Lady Dispo, the Green Lady Dispo.
DISPO.
Yeah.
At Green Lady Dispo.
We had another account, but it got taken down by Instagram, and I'm sure you've heard about that.
Oh, because it had the word cannabis in it?
Just like posting pictures of cannabis or like mentioning the word cannabis. I mean,
yeah,
like
I know.
Anything, yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Green Lady Dispo. I like it. All right. Nicole and Clea, thank you so much for joining us. And I wish you the utmost success. I'm sure it will continue.
So nice to speak with you too.
Let me know when you want to come to Minnesota.
I've heard it's beautiful. I've never been.
Summer's usually better.
Same with Nantucket.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the eclipse.